thank you for joining me for this film. In the Car Girl Garage today is BMW's most petite M car. It is the M2 Coupe. Now, it may be small, but it packs a punch. 460 horsepower strapped to a shortened version of BMW's M4 Coupe chassis, 219 millimetres shorter, fact fans. And it's also lighter than its bigger brother, but not by much, 25 kilograms. Self-described as a high-performance premium compact, the car, not me, the starting price is around £65,000, but I am sure that M2s will go for more than that because of the tempting options lists to tick. More on that later, but for now I need to tell you about two important things because they're so rare. This car can come with a manual gearbox and it's rear-wheel drive only. My affection for the M badge runs deep. I first fell in love with a Z3 M Coupe when I drove one from London to Le Mans when I was a road tester on a car magazine, and about a decade later I bought one. That eventually gave way in the garage for one of the finest machines to carry an M badge, the M3 CSL. And most recently I've had a brief fling with this car's predecessor, which is the most successful M-badged BMW in history. It is the original M2. But what they all have in common is that they're fast, they're fun, and they are pretty practical. So the big question is, will this M2 be good enough for me to want one? Well, things aren't off to a great start because of the driving position. With the manual, the three pedals are offset to the right, so my feet have to do a bit of a ballet dance across each pedal to make sure I've got the right one before moving off. And then my left knee scrapes against the middle bulge of the seat each time I change gear. It is very clear that the footwell was designed predominantly for the two pedals of the automatic and that the manual was very much an afterthought. The car definitely feels wider and longer and lower than the car it replaces. It has definitely beefed itself right up though, and it takes me back to my max power days of big body kits. This car certainly has got road presence, and for that I salute it. It is a bit of a pussycat when you are just trickling through villages and towns. The engine is really smooth even when it's just hovering around tick over, and that clutch, when you can find it, is super light. There are lots of other things as well that make this car a really good everyday machine. There's a colourful head-up display. It's got rear seats that are big enough for two small children, but make sure they leave their shoes at the door because you don't want the back of these carbon seats to be scratched to bits. Then there's the boot, which is on a par with that of a VW Golf, and if you want some more space, then the back seats will fold forwards. So it seems to be ticking all the useful, practical boxes. What about performance? Well, under the bonnet, which looks remarkably similar to the old V10 powered M5 bonnet and probably a similar size, well, under here is a 3-litre straight-six twin turbo, which differs only slightly to the one in the M3 and the M4. 0 to 62 happens in 4.1 seconds, slightly slower with the manual gearbox at 4.3 seconds, and you are limited to 155 miles an hour. But you can go faster for a cost. Here come the options. BMW has made it really easy to spend because it's wrapped various goodies into packages. If you want to go fast, 177 miles an hour, then you can. And within that package, you get lighter wheels, different tyres, and these fantastic looking and feeling carbon bucket seats, which are also electric and heated. All of that costs about £6,500. Or you can go for a cheaper comfort pack, which gives you things like a heated steering wheel, and that is a big tick in my book. Once you've had a heated steering wheel, you will never not have a heated steering wheel. When it comes to the manual gearbox, you have to pay to have a manual gearbox, and it never used to be like that. So for a 6-speed manual box, you have to pay an extra £550 as opposed to the standard 8-speed auto. Me, I think I'd be ticking it. All of which hikes the price for this particular car up to around £70,000. This baby M does come with a lot of tech though as standard. Long gone are the days where just one sport button will do it all. Here you can tinker with all sorts of things. Once I've turned it on, you can go into setup and play with the gear shift assistant, the brake feel, and there's a 10-step traction control system, all behind this fantastic wraparound large digital screen. Then, of course, there is BMW's intelligent personal assistant, where, upon vocal commands, it will do things like turn the aircon on, put the windows down, and of course, everything is available on an app on your mobile phone. But has all of this tech numbed that M magic when you're behind the wheel? No! Oh, it's so refreshing to be able to drive a car made for drivers without a four-wheel drive option, as with the bigger M3 and M4. The M2 has its weight split 50-50 front to rear, which really helps make it nimble, despite it being heavier than ever before. It also has a super healthy dose of torque, 550 Newton meters, which isn't far away from the figure in the iconic supercar, the Ferrari F40. This engine is so flexible that you could just leave it in 4th gear and never touch the clutch. Which makes me wonder why I am so in love with manual gearboxes. Oh, this is the first car that's made me actually question this, and that is a worry. This car also has the gear shift assistant, which blips the throttle automatically to match the revs of the incoming gear, which makes me redundant. I know, I can switch that off and then go back to traditional heeling and towing, and then I would be feeling more useful. There is no denying that this car has got oodles of character. It's got a great exhaust note, it's fun, it's practical, but, and there's always a but, I can't ignore a car that you can also buy for this money, and that is the near perfect Porsche Cayman GTS. However, this car sadly heralds the beginning of the end of petrol-only performance cars from the Munich brand, and for that alone, it is worthy of a spot in any garage, even for a tiny amount of time. Thank you so much for watching. Please do explore the rest of my channel. We have got jumping Ford Ranger Raptors, fiercely fast Ferraris, and everything in between. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.